What's up, good people? Welcome to another episode of Passion Portraits. For today's Passion Portrait, we're going to be telling the story of Quinten Lambert and his passion, game development. Let's get to it. Alright, so how did you first discover it? And was it an instant connection or a gradual realization? Quinten says he had an instant connection to video games as a child, but his love of breaking them down into their parts came slowly over time. It wasn't until high school that he realized the importance they held to him and how much they helped him escape the depressing reality around him. He had a way to cope through living in other worlds. At some point, he started to feel like he could share that experience with others through the creation of new games. What obstacles have you faced while pursuing this passion of yours, and how did you overcome them? Quinten says while he was in college, the gaming industry wasn't in the best of states. Massive amounts of work, working overtime constantly, and a slew of other issues that were company specific. All of that suffering only to be let go after the game was made because your skill set didn't match the new game they wanted to make. He saw a dying trade in front of him and he had to make a choice to not pursue his dream in favor of stability in his life. Over time, he slowly kept thinking about game development. It kept creeping into the back of his mind every time he saw things he loved in the new games he played. While the industry itself still isn't the best place to earn a living, since college he has seen the independent developer scene explode. Small teams are making some of the best games out there, and it lit a fire under him. A fire without fuel doesn't burn long. He is a programmer. He can make a text-based game easily with all the choices and logic. However, he can barely draw a stick figure. He would need an artist at the very least to help him create assets for the game. Then there was story writing, marketing, animation. The list goes on and on. The skills required to be an independent game developer crippled him into thinking he wasn't cut out to do it alone. In a way, he was kind of right, because it was connecting with a friend who also had a passion, but they don't know coding. This friend is an artist, digital animator, basic level, and has a huge creative streak for writing and storyboarding. Together, they've begun the process of planning their first games, deciding which to tackle first, and getting this journey on its way together. His obstacles were few, but they were crippling and hard to get past. Sometimes you only need to look to those beside you to find the solution you've been seeking. How long have you gone about cultivating this passion of yours, and where do you see your journey heading over the next few years? Quinten says he spent about a decade working on understanding game engines, computer programming, types of games, and how to make them, designing games from scratch, all of the skills he thought he'd need as a programming game developer. As of today, he feels his skills are finally up to par for him to create something wonderful. He sees this journey taking him to his first release game within a year's time, and more than a few released by the next 5 years. Did you have a mentor? Take a course. What advice would you give to someone who is still searching for their passion? He didn't have a direct mentor for game development, but his college professors are very supportive of his passion. One professor even made a self-study course for game creation for him and to others. While they struggled with basic concepts back then, he still sees it as a wonderful learning moment to realize just how much work goes into creating a game. It all seems easy on the surface before you start diving into it. The advice he has for anyone pursuing any passion is to never fully give up on it. There are times in our lives where our passions need to take a lesser role to make room for other things. Never forget that passion. Nurture it when you can. There will come a time when you'll have your shot to go all in and make that passion a reality. If you're still searching for a passion, it helps to try out new things. Talk to those around you and discover things they like to do. Maybe you'll like them as well. This is the bonus of getting to hang out with your friends a lot more too, or even make new ones. Can you share a particularly memorable moment that truly encapsulates the joy your passion brings? Quinten says there is a rush of adrenaline for him when he sees something he's worked on be played by someone else. He created a card game in college that was based off a mini game that was in one of his favorite video games. He got to have people try it out and demo it. The pride he felt at what he had accomplished alongside with the adrenaline of the moment that was his crowning achievement so far. For him, his joy comes from seeing others enjoying the things he creates. In what ways has your passion helped you grow personally or professionally? Having this passion for game development helped him become organized and to push himself to look beyond the surface for answers instead of taking the easy road. Professionally, the organization skills he gained from writing the documentation and structuring the code has helped him in his positions greatly. He learned the best practices for structuring the projects he's worked on and how to create effective diagrams and documentation. All of these skills are necessary to succeed as a developer. Personally, he's grown in that he often looks deeper for true meanings and strives for better understanding of the world and conceptual matters around him. If someone wants to start learning this passion of yours, what advice would you give to them? Quinten says, dive in, make stuff. Who cares how bad it looks or how crappy it plays? The only way to get better is to do it. Ask questions, Google things, watch tutorials, fail, succeed, fail some more. It's all a part of the process. If possible, where can people find you online if they want to ask you more questions? Quinten says he can most easily be reached by his email. He doesn't have a presence on social media platforms other than LinkedIn, but he does not check that often. All right, so that's it for today's passion portrait. Thank you so much, Quinten, for taking the time to fill out this form and for telling us your story and your journey on game development. One of the nuggets of wisdom that stood out to me from your story is how you found a friend who was also in the same, like, they have interest in the same passion. And you all were able to work together, encourage each other, both in terms of creativity and just in straight up work, like creating a game, right? And you're starting to create a game and starting to like sharpen each other's swords, so to speak, or what is it? Iron sharpens iron, something like that. It relates to another nugget of wisdom I heard on a different story. I like how if you're trying to improve in a certain area, sometimes one of the best plays you can do is change up your environment, right? For facing critical obstacles or difficult obstacles, oftentimes it can be pretty dang helpful to have a friend there with you who's down there in the ditch or in the trenches, there we go, alongside you. So finding friends, whether they're old friends or new friends, that can join you on this journey of whatever your passion is, I think that's an amazing piece of wisdom that more people should learn from. So thank you for telling your story. All right, that's all I have for you today, good people. Thank you for taking the time to watch Passion Portraits and hear Quinten's story. As usual, if you have a passion or you know someone who has a passion, then please consider filling out this form and telling us your story so that way we can encourage more people to find and cultivate their passion, so we can encourage more people to find and cultivate their calling. That's all I have for you today, good people. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you soon.